These are members of the Panyangara Post-HIV Test Club in Kotido district in one of their outreaches to attract people for voluntary counseling and testing. It is a mixed group with members who are HIV positive and negative. They have been at this for the past 2 years as part of the domestic violence and HIV prevention program funded by Trocra, the international development agency of the Irish Catholic Church.
We make testimonies, share experiences, and collaborate with the health unit to ensure that we carry out voluntary counseling and testing when we visit the community.
One of the group's members, Catherine Longoli, recounts her experience after she tested HIV positive.
When I first learned of my status, it was not easy to accept. I went home and cried. I even thought of committing suicide. But because of the teachings I got from this group on how to live positively, I accepted the situation.
HIV prevalence in Kotido is estimated at about 5.3%. Many of the cases are blamed on modern lifestyles, mining, and rising prostitution, driven by poverty. Most of these people need just a bit of encouragement to come and test their blood, and that's why the influence of the post-test club members become important. About 120 people come for such a test every time it's held.
Like for today, we managed to test 110, but out of 110, we did not get any positive client. So that one tells me that the prevalence is coming down.
Domestic violence is also common here and has been at the fore of Trocra's intervention in the sub-region.
Culture seems to be accepting that the men can have more than one woman, so that is obviously a problem in relation to HIV. In terms of domestic violence itself, there also seems to be an acceptance in much of the culture that it's okay for men to beat their wives.
One approach has been to use the Catholic Church to strengthen community structures, to do advocacy against domestic violence and HIV.
This launch must help us to go beyond saying, well, we've celebrated. What do we want to do about it? Is it good to continue the same way?
Launches of the program like this one at Good Shepherd Cathedral in Kotido town are now held annually.
Sometimes it's more difficult to reach out at people who are not in the church and to be able to give them a message which is very meaningful. And I think Trocra is doing a lot in this sense, giving us a good support.
The function was crowned with traditional songs and drama about HIV/AIDS and domestic violence.
So slowly we are coming out, but it's still a challenge to get people to go against what they call their way of life or their culture.
Since most of the domestic violence cases are linked to cultural beliefs, elders have been co-opted into the project to help talk to the community. Elders command a lot of respect, and their involvement has been instrumental since the launch of the project.
Our main mandate is to stop the spread of HIV in our community. For domestic violence, we are still continuing with sensitization.
But the elders are now just beginning to appreciate the magnitude of the problem.
We did not know HIV was real in our community before the project was brought.
We didn't know people just needed counseling to change their behaviors.
Trocra's country director, Ian Dolin, says changing the situation may take time.
But over time we are optimistic that through the leaders there we can influence people to change behaviour and to reduce the amount of domestic violence and hopefully to reduce the rates of HIV.
In the last 3 years, Trocra's intervention in Kotido has been a shining example in fighting AIDS and domestic violence, especially through change of attitude and information sharing. Moses Sakena, NTV.